everybody, welcome back. I'm Tiffany with Voices for Independence, Fitness and Activities, and I am here to share another recipe for you. This week we are cooking across America, and we are going to be making a dish from each state in this series that we're going to be sharing with you for the next few weeks. So this evening what we're going to do is share a recipe from Alaska. One of the most popular dishes in Alaska, because it's so plentiful, is salmon. And tonight we're going to make you a chilled, whole cooked salmon. So what you're going to need for this, and I am downsizing the recipe to make it more appropriate for a single person or a small family, okay? So, traditionally in Alaska, they would bake the whole salmon in preparation for this meal. This evening, what I have is a beautiful salmon steak here that I purchased at the store. Some other ingredients we're gonna be cooking with tonight is some onions, some fresh dill. We're gonna be using cucumber later. This recipe also calls for some olive oil, a little bit of lemon juice, pepper, whole peppercorns. I have a grinder, a little bit of cayenne, garlic, and some ginger ale or white cooking wine. For this purpose tonight, I will be using ginger ale. Now, beforehand, what you're going to want to do to prep your salmon in the traditional way for this recipe in Alaska, what you're going to want to do is soak your salmon in ginger ale for approximately 3 to 4 hours in the refrigerator. So once you have done that, we're going to take it out, rinse it, and pat it dry with a paper towel. And that's this part we are at right now. I already have my salmon that was marinating in the ginger ale earlier today, all rinsed off and ready to go. And what we're going to do now is we are going to line our baking dish. I just have a small dish since I am just demonstrating one piece of salmon this evening. And we're going to line it with 2 heavy pieces of foil. This will make a nice protection from the direct heat and give it a nice even bake as well. We're going to put that right in our baking dish. And then what we're going to do is add our salmon, and I am going to get something to pick our salmon up in a easier fashion. So I'm going to get something to put my salmon right in our foil. And then what we're going to do is we are going to cut up a little bit of onion to add to our delicious salmon steak. I'm going to cut about 2 to 4 tablespoons. So I'm just going to cut a few slices off here and then dice it up real quick. For the size of salmon I'm using this evening, I'll probably just need about 2 tablespoons. You can adjust the recipe accordingly to your portion size when you see the recipe that I'll be providing in the comments below. So we're just going to dice up our onion and we're going to sprinkle that over our salmon. And then we're going to start adding some of our other ingredients. A lot of these are going to go just right in our baking dish on top of our salmon steak. So our salmon is in our pan, and we are just going to now sprinkle some onion over top of it, generously coating that salmon. You can just let it sit right on top. If it falls off and goes around it, that's perfectly fine as well, because it'll all be baking in the oven. Next, we're going to, let me follow our instructions so I make sure I get all the ingredients right for you. We are going to add about 1 tablespoon of lemon juice to this, and we're just going to squeeze it right on there. So we're going to add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice and pour that right over your salmon in your baking dish. I'm going to add just a little more. I like a lot of lemon on my fresh fish. Also, we're going to add about 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Whatever olive oil you have available will work for this recipe. So we're going to add that, 1 tablespoon. Again, I am adjusting the portion size of all the ingredients to accommodate the amount of salmon I am baking this evening. Then we're going to add some, if you have whole peppercorns, feel free to add that. I have a grinder that I've set to the largest setting, so the pepper will come out in larger pieces per the instructions. All right, so there's our salmon as we're adding everything. Now we're going to add about 2 tablespoons. You could either add whole garlic or you can add mince. I'm adding mince this evening because that's what I have available, and this is going to take a lot of garlic, so I'm putting a tablespoon right in on top of it. Again, if it falls off to the side, that's fine. It's going to be all baked in here together. And then lastly, we have two more things. We're going to add a pinch of cayenne just for a little kick. In Alaska, I think they must like that little bit of kick, so we're going to just add a pinch of cayenne on there. And then we are going to use the ginger ale. Again, you can use your white cooking wine for this, or you can use a substitute of ginger ale, which I am doing this evening. So I'm just going to pour that right over my salmon. And this is going to bake in a 325-degree oven for approximately 40 minutes. Once this is cooled, what we're going to do is, or once it is baked, we're going to take it out of the oven and open the foil, and we're going to let it cool for about an hour on the stove top. And then we are going to wrap it back up and place it in the refrigerator until it is chilled. So we're going to put it in there for about 2 to 4 hours. Again, this is a cold dish. It's a chilled salmon, a baked salmon that they're going to serve up in Alaska. One last thing you'll want to do is when it comes out of the oven and it's been chilled in your refrigerator, you're going to want to garnish it with some beautifully thinly sliced cucumbers and a little bit of fresh dill on top. And again, as we're cooking our way across America, I'll be sharing recipes with you from each state. And again, tonight was Alaska and their chilled baked salmon. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below and I'll share the recipe with you as well. You have a good evening. I'll see you next time.